Hey mini enthusiasts, how are you doing? Welcome back. I hope you're having a great day and I hope you're all well. Today's video, we're back on Project Bruce. So I need to get that cylinder head fitted back on the car. You've seen the imperfection in the deck of the block. I don't think it's a crack. I've looked very closely. It's indented. I don't know what's caused that, but I'm pretty confident with the Victor Ryan's head gasket put back on there, that'll be good enough to get it running again without it pressurising. I don't know how long that's going to last. Time will tell. For me now, the priority is getting it back together, getting it running and making sure it's just not pumping coolant out everywhere. And as I say, the goal here is to get it to the point I can run it, take it down for an MOT. I've had a look at the old head gasket that come off the car and it is definitely not blown in that area. So the old head gasket definitely done a good job of sealing it up. So fingers crossed on this one. Just to bring you up to date on a few other projects as well and what's going on in the channel. So I've just come back from a week's holiday. I went down to Butlins Minehead in the UK like you do. Week away with the kids, bit refreshed and yeah, back on it. All the cars are sawn now because I don't like using them too much during the winter. I may get one of them out if there's a nice day and maybe tax it for the month or something like that. But generally the cars get packed away now and we get on with the winter project. So for me, that winter project is Project Bruce. And that will be getting it to the condition where it's MOT'd, it's roadworthy and it's a good car, a project, a good base for someone else to take a little bit further. I'm not going to do much customization or anything on that. Update on the other projects. So the Madgwick Cooper S is now finished. That is done. Mark has that car. I just need to get down there at some point and do a road test video, walk around, show that car. Now it's finished in all its glory because it is absolutely amazing. The Mark III Cooper S that Mark's restoring, as you'd have seen in the video, if you hadn't seen it, the playlist is up here. Huge problems with rot on that. So Mark took the decision to order a complete new floor pan from M Machine, a proper Mark III floor pan that was being made for it. That obviously took a few months. I think it was 3 months to get it made and delivered. Mark now has the floor pan and he's created a jig to mount the car on so you can take the floor pan out. It's going to hold it all together, everything and the datum's all in the right places so the new floor can go back in. There will also be an engine conversion coming up on Project Kit. So again, I'll stick a card up here. Project Kit is the Kit Night Rider themed car that myself and Mark done for his wife Lucy, I think back in 2018 now. Very bespoke, very customised. Mark has decided he wants to sell that car now. It was created as an automatic because Lucy doesn't like driving a manual car. But of course that hinders the sale a little bit with that car. So that is going to be converted to a manual. So Mark is going to take, he has a 1380 Swift Tune manual engine in one of his other minis, Project Rufus. That is around about 100 brake horsepower, I think. He's going to take that engine out. The car's going to come here and I'm going to swap the engines over and basically convert Project Kit to a 1380cc Swift Tune manual, and that car is then going to be for sale. Aside from that, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going to go on. I'm not sure what's going to go on with Sprout or P out over the winter. I'm sure there'll be some little jobs to do. But anyway, let me stop waffling on and let's get into this week's video. Have a great week. Right, let's get this head back on and see what it's like afterwards. First thing I need to do is clean out inside the water jacket here. It's all scummy inside there, horrible water. The problem is if you blast water in there, it'll come up out of all the waterways up here. So little tip, we will just mask off the top of this so I can then, I won't use a pressure washer actually, I'll just use a hose inside there, clear it all out. There we go, so they're all covered up now. It means I can put the hose in there, get it all flushed out nicely without flooding the bores with water. Right, one of the first bits back on is the water pump, so I've given that a thoroughly good clean. It's been jet washed inside and out to get all the gunge out. We've got a new gasket on there. So
just line it up with these locating dowels. Also got nice new bolts with new spring washers on them. So that's the water pump on. We've got our bypass hose on. It's one of these collapsible type ones. Bypass hose on, bit of rubber grease on there. All the studs have been cleaned, stud holes have been blown out, and they've been put in by hand, the studs, so I don't tighten them up, they just go in by hand. Gives you a good indication of what the thread's like. If you can screw them in by hand and get them finger tight, that means the thread is good in there. So yeah, we're pretty much ready for the head to go on now. So got the head down here. We've got our Victor Ryan's head gasket. Let's get it done. Make sure all our holes line up, which they do. Right, quick tip here, and again, we're on a budget, so we're not buying a silicone rocker cover gasket. Silicone ones are far better, but if you ever have the problem where, like you can see on this at the moment, the gasket's out of shape. It doesn't quite fit, does it? If I were to put that on, it would just come out the sides and leak. So make sure all the surfaces are perfectly clean with brake cleaner or something like that, solvent, bit of super glue to get you going. Get the first bit in place, and then just use a little bulldog clip like that, hold it in place, then go around and get the gasket exactly where you want it to sit using little bulldog clips. And then you want to leave those clips on there for about 15 minutes before you try fitting it on the car. The only downside to doing it like this is next time you change the gasket, it will be stuck on there like the proverbial to a blanket. But I've always found this works pretty well for me, especially when using cork gaskets. Don't get any leaks and it stays into position when you fit it. Don't have to go mad, just little dabs here and there. So now when I come to fit that gasket, it will be perfect. Or fingers crossed. There you go, hope that's helpful. Right, apologies folks, the camera battery went dead, I didn't have a spare, and I'm losing light. It's getting pretty dark, so I just wanted to bash on with it. So obviously got the radiator back in, cooling fan. That's actually the alternator of Project TARDIS, because the one on this sounds really rough, so I thought I'd just replace it. Everything else is back on. I've put water in it now. We're just going to do the first start. I'm probably running out of light for running out properly tonight, but I'll know pretty much straight away if it's still got that problem, because it was literally just pumping the coolant out before, where it had a massive combustion leak. So hopefully it's not going to be that bad. Let's get it started and see. Well, fingers crossed it starts to begin with. Is the choke on all the way? Yes, it is. Right, why is it not starting then? It's got a spark, it's got fuel. Why are you not going? I think I've flooded it. Right, so it's been running about 15 minutes now. The thermostat has opened up, and it's not pressurising at all. So I'm really pleased. I think that sorted it out. When I saw that indentation in the block, I was really concerned, and yes, it might be a weak spot for the future, but before it was just pumping exhaust gases out the header tank. You couldn't keep water in it, it was just pumping the water out all the time. But it's as sweet as a nut now. It's a little bit clickety-clackety at the moment. I did do the tappets, but all the rocker arms are worn on them. You can see they've got indentations where they've been touching the top of the valve stem, so again it's a high mileage engine, so it's actually quite difficult to set the tappets right. I'll have another go, get them a bit quieter, but yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. Yeah, I think that'll be fine, good enough to run it around for a bit anyway, get an MOT on it. As you can see, now I know that's going to be alright. At some stage I'll paint the bottom half of the block. I haven't painted it now because I genuinely thought that engine might be scratched. Hope you enjoyed this week's video. If you did, remember to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down the bottom, and catch you again next time.